On Christmas Eve of 2029, darkness fell upon Japan as the apocalypse virus spread, bringing death and chaos in what became known as Lost Christmas. In a desperate attempt to restore order, the United Nations intervened through the GHQ, stripping Japan of its independence and imposing a harsh regime. Now, 10 years later, the country remains shackled under their oppressive rule, with hope for freedom fading into the shadows. But in the darkness, a resistance group called Funeral Parlor, led by the enigmatic guide Tsutsugami, is ready to ignite the flames of rebellion. Their target, the Void Genome, a mysterious power capable of turning the tide of battle. This power, sealed within a vial, falls into the hands of Inori Yuzuriha, a hauntingly beautiful singer who becomes the hunted prey of the GHQ's relentless forces. In a desperate escape, Inori crosses paths with Shu Uma, a shy high school student whose ordinary life is about to be turned upside down. One fateful moment changes everything.
Brace yourself for a thrilling adventure in the world of Guilty Crown, where every choice carries the weight of an entire nation's fate.
In the year 2039, the timid student Shu Uma, while standing on his balcony watching a music video, encounters Inori Yuzuriha, the famous singer of the band EGOIST. However, the situation quickly escalates as Inori is seen running through the city streets, pursued by soldiers and massive war machines. Through her earpiece, a mysterious man asks if she has obtained the key, referring to a vial containing the Void Genome that she carries. Inori confirms she has it, and the voice assures her that he will guide her out of the predicament. As Inori continues to flee amid gunfire from military machines, she is wounded but clings tightly to the vial. She activates Funnel, her small robotic companion, placing the vial inside it and instructing it to deliver it to Guy. However, as she attempts to escape, a powerful explosion hurls her off a bridge, sending her plummeting into the waters below. The next morning, Shu is on a train heading to school, noticing an unusual number of soldiers in the area. His friend Hare informs him about a terrorist attack in Odaiba, now referred to as Area 24. At school, Shu meets his friends Suta and Yahiro, who discuss an upcoming video competition. Shu, feeling isolated, expresses that his relationships with others feel fake. Shu reflects on Japan's political state, explaining how the country became semi-independent after the apocalypse virus outbreak 10 years ago, forcing it to rely on international aid while remaining under GHQ's control. Later, Shu visits an abandoned building to work on his video while having lunch. Suddenly, he hears singing and discovers Inori there. Noticing her injuries, he approaches her, accidentally causing a video playback error. In response, Funnel uses a metallic wire to trip Shu but quickly apologizes. Inori, however, praises Shu's video, though her stomach growls from hunger, prompting Shu to offer her his food. As they eat, Shu wonders if Inori is really the famous singer from Egoist. Just then, GHQ soldiers storm the building and capture Inori after a failed escape attempt. They interrogate Shu about his involvement with her, threatening him with their weapons while he hides in fear. After they take Inori away, Shu is overwhelmed with guilt for his inaction. Determined to help her, he follows Funnel, which projects a map indicating where the vial needs to be delivered. While Shu makes his way to the location, a group of thugs ambushes him. However, Guy, the fearless leader of the resistance group Funeral Parlor, arrives, turning the tide in Shu's favor. Guy effortlessly defeats the thugs while Tsugumi, one of his comrades, retrieves Funnel from Shu. Guy questions Shu about Inori, but Shu hesitates to answer. Suddenly, a massive explosion occurs, and one of Guy's subordinates informs him that GHQ forces have overrun the area, killing everyone in sight. Guy instructs Shu to escape and protect the Void Genome. Amid the chaos, the military vehicle holding Inori crashes, allowing her to break free, though she remains surrounded by enemy mechs. Shu rushes to rescue her, but in doing so, he loses the vial, which falls from his pocket and shatters upon impact, releasing the Void Genome. Shu finds himself in a strange white dimension alongside Inori, where a mysterious symbol appears on his right hand. Inori urges him to use her power. Suddenly, Shu experiences a series of bizarre visions, including an image of a pink-haired girl wearing the same numbered tag as Inori. A voice tells him to take the guilty crown, symbolizing the interconnectedness of hearts. The visions end with the pink-haired girl smiling in the snow. Shu regains consciousness, his eyes glowing red with newfound determination. Realizing he now possesses a unique ability, he draws a sword from Inori's chest, using it to block incoming enemy attacks with an energy shield. With a single devastating strike, he obliterates one of the enemy's assault mechs. Shu is exhausted while at GHQ. Rowan is confused about the situation. Shu attempts to evade the missiles only to get blasted. From afar, Guy tells his men to bomb a building that falls on top of an endlave. Shu finishes the machine off and he attends to Inori's side. With the void disappearing, Guy uses funnel to tell Shu to bring back Inori. Tsugumi tells Ayase to withdraw, but Ayase gets attacked by Daryl. Before Daryl can kill Ayase, Tsugumi does a bailout for Ayase. At GHQ, Gwyn gets angry over how a foot soldier can easily defeat the Enlave units. Daryl enters Gwyn's headquarters and tells him that he has come to tag along. When Gwyn offers a handshake, Daryl gets disgusted at the thought of touching him. Gwyn orders his men to interrogate everyone. Somewhere in the city, Ayase reports that she has failed, but Guy does not think so, and he is glad that Ayase is okay. Tsugumi teases Ayase about her elevated heartbeat. Back to Guy's location, Inori asks Guy if she did well. However, Guy states that Inori has failed. Shu explains that it is his fault, yet Guy informs him that Inori had used the Void genome on Shu. The Void genome is meant for Guy. Guy explains that Voids comes in different forms that depends on the person. He tells Shu that he has to fight, but when Shu refuses, Guy reinforces his argument up close and personal. Then, Arugo reports that the citizens at a parking lot are being seized by the antibodies. At Funeral Parlor's headquarters, Guy tells everyone that they will save everyone and make their appearance known to the public. In the ventilation shaft, Shu follows Inori without looking at Inori's buttocks. Shu sees a soldier beating a citizen. Outside, a young mother tries to beg Daryl for help. Yet, Daryl loses his cool when his flower had wilted. He steps on the woman's face repeatedly. Daryl and the soldiers prepare to kill the prisoners, and Tsugumi begs Guy to make an order. With the bullets rain on the victims, Guy signals everyone to launch the missiles. Daryl runs happily to his endlave. Guy walks Shu through the plans. The funeral parlor will lure the endlaves away from the base while they get close to the base. Daryl chases Arugo and almost shoots at him, yet Rowan calls everyone to stop what they are doing. It turns out that Guy has missiles locked on Gwyn's command base. Guy orders Gwyn to surrender and release the hostages. Gwyn replies that they will release the toxic gas underground and demands Guy to show himself. Guy explains that their name is based on how they bid the side farewell with funeral songs. Gwyn asks Guy what has happened to the genetic weapon, yet when Guy refuses to answer, he threatens to shoot Guy at the count of 10. Meanwhile, Inori tells Shu to believe in himself as she places Shu's hand on her chest. Shu grabs Daryl's void and fires at Guy's direction. When the lasers from the antibodies are bounced off Guy, it ricochets and hits the enemy's back. With the event over, Inori sings a song, Oterpe. Guy gives Shu props for a job well done. He asks Shu to join them. On the following day, Shu thinks about the decision at school. Even though he wants a peaceful life, Inori appears as a transfer student, leaving Shu shocked. A video from Funeral Parlor, Undertaker, shows Guy delivering a speech about how they will continue resisting GHQ. Meanwhile, in class, the teacher instructs students to report any information regarding these terrorists due to the recent Roppongi incident. Suddenly, a new student enters the classroom. Everyone turns to see the beautiful pink-haired girl, Inori. Shocked, Shu calls out her name, leaving the class in disbelief that she is the famous egoist. During PE class, Suta and Shu talk about Inori. When Suta asks Shu for his opinion on Inori's doll-like appearance, Shu comments that she looks like CG, which angers Suta. On his way home, Shu groans about Suta's reaction. As he arrives at his house, he's shocked to find Inori at his door. Inori explains that Funnel has hacked into his house and tells him she's hungry and wants rice balls. Elsewhere, a man questions Kado about taking responsibility for the Roppongi incident. Kado responds that Major Segai will handle it. When asked about Gene Norma, Dr. Uma explains its discovery. Meanwhile, Segai finishes reading an email and questions a man whose feet are tied up. Back at Shu's house, Inori finishes eating rice balls and talks about Dr. Uma, the lead researcher at Sephora Genomics. As Shu complains, Inori asks if he thinks she's a burden. Suddenly, the doorbell rings. It's Yahiro, delivering a book to Shu. Noticing something is off, Yahiro asks if something is wrong, and Inori tells Shu she has a message. Shu tries to explain why a girl is staying with him, but rushes off to chase Inori. At the riverbank, Shu asks Inori if she has friends, while she wonders if having friends is truly meaningful. Nearby, Guy and Tsugumi observe them. Guy explains that there was a witness to the Roppongi incident and tells Shu that Gene Norma might be an alias, while a drug dealer known as Sugar is involved. Shu protests that searching among so many students is difficult, but Guy tells him to look for voids. Shu discovers that Guy can see voids and strategize around them. Guy confirms this ability and tells Shu that survival is key. Later, on a bridge, Shu attacks Sauta and extracts a void resembling a gun. Back at school, he continues extracting voids with limited success. In the gym, Shu realizes Yahiro has strange habits and jokingly calls him Sugar. This enrages Yahiro, who warns Shu to keep quiet about the incident. Shu then reaches into Yahiro's chest and extracts a pair of scissors. When Inori points a gun at Yahiro, considering him a witness, Shu desperately pleads for his life, believing Yahiro is still good. Later that night, Yahiro and Shu promise not to tell anyone about the incident. On a train ride, Inori asks Shu if she can stay with him forever. Suddenly, the train stops, and Yahiro pushes Shu out. Shu realizes that Yahiro has betrayed him, and Major Segai arrests Shu,